Hang on. Okay. That is absolutely fantastic. Good morning, everybody. As I frantically leave screen, I'm Sparks Johnson out of California. I'm with my good friend here, Dr. Gary Lindner, who is Florida, basking in the sun of Florida and drinking all the margaritas, though we won't have any next year.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. So
You would not say that. Okay. We're going to start this off right now by basically saying that this is an independent Nikken consultant presentation. It's not presented by Nikken Corporation, so attorneys can feel better right now. During this presentation, if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. I will be monitoring chat. So I can collect the questions for Dr. Gary if he gives us any extra time, because he can get chatty early in the morning. I would also like all the guests, if you've been invited here by somebody, if you would raise your hand in the participation on the left side on the bottom. If you'd raise your hand, and yes, we have. Somebody needs to, okay. And thank you very much for that. So with that, I would like to introduce Dr. Gary Lindner. He is a very good friend of mine. We live actually pretty close to each other, Gary.
yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Which, never mind, we won't get into that. Okay, anyway. We both live out where the cows live. Anyway, Gary has a PhD in physiology. And he has worked at major universities around the country, and my favorite of those universities would be UC California in Davis. And he has been a tenured professor there. He co-founded a biotech firm, which is a national multi-million-dollar company. And that kind of took away his time, so he was kind of ready for Nikken when Nikken appeared to himself, at which he has been an advocate for Nikken for about 19 years now, well over 18 years now. He's a very good person to have on your board, in fact, I've made him the CEO of my board. He's my personal mentor. And before I get a tear in my eye, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, Dr. Gary, and I hope you're having a wonderful time in Florida.
Having a great time, Sparks, and thanks for that awesome introduction. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, and for a couple reasons. One, my dad spent his whole life in the water industry, water quality industry. Two, I think it's a part of our health or our self-care plans that's very frequently ignored. Would you agree with me, Sparks?
Yes, it definitely is.
It's ignored from a number of different areas, and we'll talk about those. So self-care, this is part of the series of self-care. This one, Water Matters, but self-care is about being healthy by choice, not by chance. Now, this is an active process whereby people become aware and then make choices for a healthier life. And the way that we accomplish this is with what we call a Nikken Wellness Home. It's a complete self-care solution. We address all the vital needs of our bodies in the wellness home: restful sleep, clean air, clean water, balanced nutrition, and natural light. I have high CPU ratings affecting my quality here, Sparks. Am I coming through okay?
You're coming through fine.
And guys, I apologize. It's probably just from lots of people in the hotel here using their Wi-Fi and everything else. But we will press on. So here's the issue. I don't think we as individuals or societies or families appreciate water enough. Our perception of it is that it's a beverage choice. And my wife, Karma, used to say this to my children all the time when she was noticing they weren't drinking enough water. And she would actually use this phrase. She would look at the kids and say, "Kids, water's not just a beverage choice." And it's not. It's actually an essential nutrient. It's our most essential nutrient. So when we think of it that way, Sparks, doesn't that put it in a little different light?
It really does. The first time I heard that, I thought, that's actually a pretty good thought.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you a question here real fast?
Sid
Karma really use the word beverage choice?
She did, absolutely
she did.
Yes. She's a very smart lady.
So, yeah, apparently so.
Many of the things I repeat, I originally got from her. So, anyways. And it's a different way of looking at water, because water really is our most essential nutrient. It is important in virtually everything we do with our body, from circulation, to assimilation of nutrients and digestion, for elimination, for temperature control, and it's key to all bodily functions. So again, we're approximately 75% water. Our brains are what, 83% water, and sometimes I think mine might be a little dehydrated, but that's like this morning. But anyways, it's very important. It is important for all bodily functions. I think we make lots of beverage choices other than water. And this could be evidenced from the fact that 75% of Americans suffer from chronic dehydration. And that can lead to all kinds of health issues. Many of our beverage choices are dehydrating instead of hydrating. Sparks, if one cup of coffee requires what, like 3 to 4 glasses of water? Sometimes I've heard up to 8 glasses of water to rehydrate yourself.
The most common figure I hear is 4 to 5.
4 to 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I get people that say, I don't need to drink that much water because I get it from my food. No, that's not true. That's a fallacy as well. We get some water from our food, but not near as much as what we need to function properly and stay healthy. So symptoms of dehydration, you can do a little Turgor test. I suggest doing it on the abdomen or on the thigh as opposed to the hand, just because there's looser skin on the hand. But if you pinch your skin up and if it doesn't rebound fairly quickly, that could be a physical sign that you have some dehydration issues going on, but also bad breath, dry skin, muscle cramps, fever, and chills. And then food cravings. And a lot of people wonder why, when we're dehydrated, that we crave food, and especially high carbohydrate foods. The reason being at the centers of the brain for hydration and satiety, or for hunger, if you're hungry, are very close to each other. And sometimes when we're dehydrated, that triggers that hunger center to say, whoa, I need some food, when actually really all we really need is some water, some good quality water. How much water should we drink every day, Sparks?
I should know this, shouldn't I? I'm going to wait.
This is a training form as well.
Wait a second. Half of your body weight in ounces.
Absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say 8 glasses, but 8 12-ounce glasses would be what, 96 ounces. So if somebody weighed approximately 200 pounds, that's pretty close. But really, it is about half your body weight in ounces. And many times people have difficulty drinking that much water. And how many times have we heard that? Or how many times have I heard, I really don't like to drink water? And many times that also has to do with our perceptions of water and being told to go drink water, like my wife used to tell our kids. So they would do what? They would fill a glass of water and gulp it down. And basically then they felt full or sloshy or whatever. That's not the best way to drink water. I suggest to people that have trouble drinking water, and some people do. I mean, I'd actually say quite a few people do, because they never created a habit of doing it so. I have water with me 24 hours a day. And if I'm slightly thirsty, I automatically start to drink from it or sip from it, and do that throughout the day in order to drink half my body weight in ounces. And it's not a forced thing. It becomes a natural part of our day. So that, 75% of Americans dehydrated on a daily basis. That's an astounding figure. Would you agree, Sparks?
It is. It's surprisingly astounding.
Yeah. And do you think that would affect their function or their performance during the day?
Of course it would, because the body has to allocate what water it has to do whatever it wants to do to keep your body healthy.
Sure. So very important. So drink more water is the first awareness point here. All right. Now, the next part of the presentation is going to talk about different types of water choices. And we're very lucky here in North America, as we have lots of choices. There's many places in the world where they don't have a lot of water choices. There's places in the world that I've visited that someone spends, a third of their day, treating, boiling, whatever you will, water to have safe water to consume for themselves and their family. But here in North America, at least, we have many choices for water, and we're going to talk about each of these. We have tap water. We have all types of different filtered waters. And Sparks, you did a great review on your Be Healthy, Be More site with that, and I applaud that. It was really very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking at different types of filtered water. We have bottled water, and then we have well water. So let's take a look at tap water first, and let's see if these are actually healthy choices. So a lot of people choose not to drink tap water from the simple fact that maybe it smells bad, it tastes bad, it looks bad. And those are aesthetic choices. Oh, I wouldn't want to drink that. It looks bad or it smells bad. But really, I think what we want to be more aware of is what's in that water. Now, chlorination of water, I wouldn't ever say was a bad thing, because I know it saved millions and millions of lives by killing pathogenic bacteria, viruses, things that are in the water. But the offset of that, the other side of that coin, is what is the effect on our health over a period of a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades of drinking chlorinated water, municipally treated water? Because when we do that, chlorine reacts with the biological organic material in that water, and byproducts are produced. And some of those are volatile organic compounds, which include trichloroethylene, trihalomethane, which really are carcinogenic and really not good for our health. And Sparks, I know you're quite aware of this next fact too, that we have pharmaceutical compounds in our drinking water.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Maybe, just maybe, I'm just going to throw this out there, it's because we fill 4.3 billion prescriptions a year in the U.S. Maybe that's just part of the problem. I don't know.
Hey, Gary, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Sparks.
What does that average out per person? This
12.
might surprise people.
12.
12 prescriptions per person in the United States.
Yeah.
And
it's going to go up 15 to 20% this next year, and that's 2014 figures, by the way. So,
and that's great for the drug companies.
And it's not so good for our water.
No.
And there's many people that I mention this to, and they go, Dr. G, I don't worry about that because it's such. I've read it's really in just very small amounts, like parts per million and parts per billion. Now, that may sound like it may not have an effect. But one of the most effective pharmaceutical drugs we've ever had was a birth control pill. Would you agree, Sparks?
Yes.
99.59% effective in, stopping one of our natural biological functions to reproduce. That's pretty effective. And birth control pills work on the level of parts per billion in our bodies. So now the other thing I would worry about this too is what's the interactions of these pharmaceutical drugs in our municipal waters with prescriptions that we're taking. Since we're all taking 12, at least on an average, what's the interactions there? Probably not good. And we really don't know. What's the interactions between the ones in the water with each other on our body? So these are things to be aware of. So basically, choices for tap water probably aren't a good choice if you're looking, for the healthiest water. A lot of people choose bottled water. Their perception is that it's healthier. There's, this is a figure, $14 billion industry. That's a wholesale value of the bottled water sold in the U.S. in 2014. 11 billion gallons consumed. 3/4 of Americans drink bottled water. 1 out of 5, 20% drink only bottled water. All right. And their perception is that it's healthier. But is it? It's really not. And again, Sparks, I know you've done a lot of research on this, of how poorly regulated that industry is.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And look at that. 10 brands sampled by Environmental Working Group contain 38 pollutants. I mean, everything from arsenic to the things that are in the tap water that we just talked about. I mean, taste tests, people, again, that perception says it tastes better. But actually in consumer taste tests, it loses to tap water.
So you take away the appearance of the bottle, and it starts losing in the taste tests.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the other thing. It's very expensive, and it's not expensive in terms of cost, but also to our planet. 2,000 times more expensive than tap water. I like to use this analogy. Let's say you go to a sandwich shop where they sell a $6 sandwich. All right. That's the equivalent of paying $12,000 for that sandwich. Now, would anybody ever consider doing that? No, they wouldn't. And so, anyways, but the environmental and ecological issues are huge. 35 million barrels of oil used annually to manufacture or transport bottled water. We waste 3 liters of water, produce 1 liter, or you could convert that to gallons if you want. 3 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of bottled water. And we all recycle. At least we all think we recycle, but yet only 1 in 5 of those bottles are recycled, and the rest of them end up in our landfills or in our ocean. There are 9 million football fields worth of plastic in our ocean. And the earth hits a tipping point too, just like our bodies do. And eventually, there's actually places in the world where sand is being replaced by plastic. And I've read some articles on that too, to where the sand on a beach really isn't sand anymore, but it's actually, looks like round pebbles of plastic. I find that very disturbing. Let's go to the plastic beach, Sparks. Does that sound good?
No, it does not. It's not the most romantic place either, particularly the sunset.
Yeah. So here's these choices again. Now, when we characterize them, really, they have some issues. No minerals. We want minerals in our water. They're acidic. They're less bioavailable. We don't utilize that water, which what we're saying there is they're not very hydrating. I will mention well water because 15% of our population uses well water. And people say, I've got the healthiest water I can get. I got well water. Well, really do you? Because, one, what do you have going on around you? Like Sparks said, we live out in cow country. I got cows around me. I've got vineyards across from me. I've got pigs and goats, kitty corn. I got a Christmas tree farm, for crying out loud, kitty corn from me. But whatever they're using, and their animal or plant agriculture is in our wells, is it not, Sparks?
Yes.
I'd say if you're on a well, have it tested 4 times a year. Have it tested seasonally, and have it tested for organophosphates and the types of things, the herbicides, the pesticides, and everything else. So I'm getting that funny message that says, so these are really, in my opinion, and I think you would agree with me, Sparks, that they are not healthy choices. So if we were to look at a healthy water, what would that look like? All right. Or what would a system look like to help produce that? We would want to have advanced filtration. We'd want that filtration to be third-party verified. All right. We'd want alkaline levels of somewhere between 8 to 9.5. We'd want minerals added to the water. We'd want some microclustering. We'd want it to be easy to use and maintain and cost effective. And really, when we're talking about the properties of water here, what we're talking about is the way nature intended water to be. And this is exactly what we have with the Nikken Choice, with the waterfall, and with our portable bottle, the PiMag Sport bottle. We filter the NSF, National Standards Foundation standards of 42, which is an aesthetic certification. Then 53, which is taking out the harmful compounds. And we also have 372, which is for lead reduction. We ionize, we structure the water, we create an alkaline water. The unit uses no electricity. The water tastes great. Does it not, Sparks?
Yes, it does.
It's
fantastic.
It's like awesome tasting water. And I poured some in this glass from my sport bottle. Cheers. and it's great for the environment. for your body and for your wallet. There's actually a cost comparison here of looking the savings that if average family of 4 that consumed a little over 1,000 gallons of water would save if they're currently paying 2,000 times. More issues. Sorry about that. And what they'd say, but over 5 years, the average family is going to save $7,000 or $7,000 by changing what the water they're drinking. Now that's pretty cool, isn't it? Healthier water, Sparks.
Well, I find it amazing if you looked at the Dasani, and I talked to a guy the other day and he says, well, I only drink Dasani. And I remembered this chart, and I started to say, well, it's pretty expensive water, and it's not that healthy. So.
Yeah. So that created a conversation point.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely. Awesome. Because that's really what we want, right? That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to shower in tap water either. And here's Janet Lee from Psycho with probably the best screen ever done on film. And that's why I use that, just to bring up that image. And the reason being is we absorb all those chlorines, all those chlorine byproducts through our lungs because we've heated the water that goes into the air. Our pores are open and we absorb it through our pores very quickly. And also from the fact, just like Dr. Lance Walsh from the EPA says, it's the biggest source of chloroform in our homes. And we would not want that. So the Nikken Choice, the self-care choice, is to filter that water. And we have an awesome shower system. Just like the waterfall, it takes out all the bad things, puts healthy things back in the water. But also it infuses, and I'll get this, Sparks, because I'm going to use a really technical term here, gazillions of bubbles into that water.
Is that a lot of bubbles?
Gazillions of bubbles. And what that does is increase the surface area of the water, so it cleans better, but also just makes it feel great. I don't know about you, Sparks, but this is probably the one product I get the quickest testimonials from. Mm-hmm. After people use it the first time, they call you up and go, oh man, that shower was just incredible. I didn't want to get out of the shower. That's the downside, because it really feels great. It really does. But it's also healthy. Very, very healthy. For on the go, we have the Nikken Sports Bottle. It's a very nice choice. I also like that we have the choice where somebody really can invest in the home unit, and many do. But if they want to just kind of try the water out for a couple days, we have another choice for them too, with a sport bottle. Take that around with you all day and sip from the bottle and drink it and hydrate yourself and see how you feel. So that's very cool as well. Here's the other nice thing. Here is the equivalent of 1 year's consumption of plastic bottles, as opposed to the environmentally friendly with no environmentally impact, the Nikken Sport Bottle. And catch what I says, great for the environment, healthier water. So when we talk about bottled water, what do I say, Sparks?
No.
Just say no. Absolutely. I do not think it's a healthy choice for your body. I do not think it's a healthy choice for our planet or for our children. So just say no. And take water on the go. This is your slide, isn't that, Sparks?
Well, I did not make it, but I found it, yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's an excellent slide.
Take credit for it because I got it from you, and I think it's awesome.
It is.
So doesn't it make sense? Just plain common sense. And self-care is just common sense, really. Think about it. But when it comes to water, doesn't it just make common sense to give your body the healthiest water possible? Rather than use your body as the filter, let's produce that water the way nature intended so you can utilize it. So people ask me all the time, they say, Dr. Gary, what's the one thing you would recommend to improve my health? And I always say, given the circumstances of the person, but usually the answer is change the water you're putting in your body. Start putting healthy water in your body. You'll see amazing results. Those joint problems go away, the headache problems, the stiffness problems, the being tired all the time, being too hungry all the time. People drinking good water start to lose weight naturally because they increase their metabolism when they're doing that. A lot of benefits to drinking healthy water. here's a list of symptoms. And when people are looking at these symptoms, and especially somebody with a healthcare background, they're going to look at these and say, wow, these are symptoms of many different types of chronic diseases, whether it's diabetes or kidney problems or, you name it, over acidity problems and then digestive problems. And many times these are symptoms that we treat with pharmaceutical intervention, hence 4.3 billion prescriptions a year. You're nodding, Sparks, right?
Yeah,
I just see that. I don't think it's a far-fetched idea that this accounts for a lot of those prescriptions.
Just those symptoms by themselves.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
But here's the other thing. They aren't just symptoms of chronic disease. Mm-hmm. These are also symptoms of dehydration.
So that kind of points to the preventative nature of many of our products.
Yeah, of self-care. Absolutely. And self-care is very empowering. Empower people to make choices about their health. So I can see we only have about a minute left. If you're a guest on here, I would invite you. I would encourage you to become a registered customer and create your own self-care portal for yourself and your family. It's free. There's no obligation. You have access to great self-care information. You have the direct ability to order your own Nikken products. You have first access to new products and specials. The other way is to contact the consultant who put you on this call or suggested you be on this call, and you can buy directly from them. So take this seriously and make the decision to be healthy by choice, not by chance, with self-care. Science that replicates nature. So with that, Sparks, any comments you may have, we will appreciate. Anything in the chat room that we could address, I'd be happy to, and I want to thank you all for your time.
There's two things I want to mention, because you mentioned the lady at the with the FDA who's in charge of bottled water.
Yeah.
Well, she's part-time too, by the way.
Yeah. She has lots of other duties as well.
$11 billion, 11 billion gallons of water transported over state lines, and she's a part-time employee at the
Right. Yeah.
Actually, what I'd like to do, I don't know whether you noticed, but Jack is on the line, and I would like to ask Jack if he has a
Jack Ensign, my friend.
Yes, that would be the same one. And so I would like to ask him if he would unmute himself and give us a testimonial of the water. And welcome to the chat.
Thank you. Well, I was so excited when Nikken first introduced water, because I thought we had wonderful sleep, wonderful products for our back and all of the areas of our body. And the thing that I felt was missing was the number one nutrient, and that's water. And ever since we've used the Nikken IMAG water, well, I know our health has improved dramatically, and I'm with you. I think this is the best water, healthiest water on the planet, and we'll use Nikken water as long as we're here on the planet too. We love it.
It's amazing how much better you can feel and how much more energy you have when you're drinking healthy water. Would you agree, Jack?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And not only for ourselves, but we see it in the other people that make that self-care decision too, to drink healthy water. So, yeah.
Yep, we love it. A fabulous presentation, Gary and Sparks.
Oh, Sparks was a star.
Oh yeah, that's a lie from the. Well, never mind. I think, was somebody else going to raise up a question? I thought I heard somebody else unmute themselves. Okay, apparently not. Dr. Gary, you're still recording, so it's back to you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being on the call. We will end this version of self-care series, The Self-Care Matters, and next week I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'll send a message out and let everybody know. Maybe I'll have a new Light Matters presentation finished by then, which will be very exciting. So
that would be a real good idea. So long, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone.